Please hear me before you waste what I wasted. I need to tell you something, and I need you to really hear me. Not scroll, not half listen, not nod while your mind races ahead. I need you to hear me the way you listen to someone who may not be here much longer. Because the thing you are chasing, the money, the security, the perfect body, the respect, the approval, the version of life you think will finally make everything feel okay, it is not going to give you what you think it will. My name is Helen. I am 80 years old, and I spent most of my life running after things I believe would finally make me feel whole. Decades, not because I was foolish, not because I was shallow, but because I was human. So please, sit with me for a few minutes, because what took me nearly a lifetime to understand, I want to give to you now while you still have time to use it. We all do the same thing. We all say, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when I'm financially secure. I'll be happy when my children are grown. I'll be happy when I'm respected. I'll be happy when life finally calms down. I said those words my entire life. My entire life. And here's the truth no one tells you. You reach the thing, and the feeling never comes. Or it comes briefly and then disappears. Because once you get what you wanted, your mind immediately finds something else you're missing. The finish line moves every time. I spent years chasing a finish line that did not exist. Let me tell you where it started for me. I grew up in a home where love was present, but security was not. We didn't starve, but we worried. We didn't complain, but we knew. My mother worked herself into exhaustion. My father aged early from stress. And I learned very young that being dependent was dangerous. So I promised myself I would never need anyone. I would be strong, capable, respected. I learned how to be impressive. I learned how to be responsible. I learned how to be useful. But I never learned how to rest inside myself. I married young, not because I was madly in love, though I did love him, but because it felt like the next correct step. We built a life that looked good from the outside, a home, routines, stability. And I told myself, this is what happiness looks like. But quietly, I was always tired, not physically, emotionally, because I was always striving, always improving, always measuring. Am I doing enough? Am I being enough? Am I worthy yet? I didn't know that question would follow me for decades. I worked hard. I sacrificed. I delayed joy. I believed responsibility came before happiness, that rest was something you earned later, that one day, when everything was finally in order, I would exhale. But life never finished asking things of me. There was always another bill, another problem, another expectation, another role to play. And the strange thing is, I became very good at it. People admired me. They called me strong, reliable, put together. And I smiled. But inside, I felt strangely hollow, like I was performing a life instead of living one. It took me many years to understand this. I wasn't chasing success. I wasn't chasing security. I was chasing permission. Permission to rest. Permission to feel proud. Permission to believe I mattered. I thought if I gave enough, proved enough, achieved enough, someone somewhere would finally say, you're safe now. You're enough. But no one ever did, because that permission was never theirs to give. It was mine. The same mistake followed me into my relationships. I believed love was proven through sacrifice, through endurance, through being needed. I believed if I held everything together, everyone would stay. So I became the strong one, the fixer, the one who didn't ask for much. And you know what that taught people? That I didn't need much, which slowly taught me that my needs didn't matter. I cannot tell you how many times I was physically present, but emotionally absent. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know how to stop bracing for the next demand. There was a moment. I remember it clearly. I was in my early 50s. I had done everything right. Children grown, bills paid, reputation solid. And I sat alone one evening in a quiet house and thought, so this is it? Not sadness, not anger, just emptiness. That was the moment I realized I had postponed my life waiting for a version of happiness that never arrived. Now, at 80, I look around at people my age. Some are bitter, still comparing, still counting what they didn't get. Some are angry at the world, at their bodies, at their families. They are still waiting, waiting to feel satisfied, waiting to feel validated, waiting for something outside themselves to finally change. But then there are others, quieter, lighter. They don't have more money or better health. They have something else, peace. They stop chasing. They stop proving. They stop negotiating their worth. They accepted themselves, not perfectly, not all at once, but enough. Let me tell you what real freedom feels like. It's not wealth. I've seen wealthy people imprisoned by fear. It's not praise. Praise fades faster than criticism. Freedom is waking up without needing to impress anyone. Freedom is being misunderstood and not correcting it. Freedom is knowing who you are without needing agreement. Freedom is looking in the mirror at an aging woman and saying, yes, that's me, and I don't need to be different to be worthy. That is freedom. Here is the great lie I believed for most of my life. I'll be okay when. I'll be okay when things settle, when I feel confident, when I'm more prepared, when life is less messy. But life never becomes less messy. It only becomes shorter. And if you don't learn how to be okay in the middle of uncertainty, you will never be okay at all. I used to think fear would disappear once I had enough. Enough savings, enough reassurance, enough control. But fear doesn't leave when circumstances improve. Fear leaves when you stop obeying it. When you decide, I am okay today, even if nothing changes. That decision changes everything. Everything I thought I wanted was really about how I wanted to feel. Safe, loved, enough. And I was looking for those feelings in achievements, in approval, in being indispensable. But those feelings don't come from outside. They never did. They come from acceptance, from stopping the chase, from allowing yourself to be human instead of constantly becoming. I am still practicing this at 80. It is never too late, but it is never free. You pay with humility. Young people think happiness waits at the finish line. There is only now. And if you cannot find peace on the way, you will not find it at the destination. I promise you that. I have arrived many times. It never felt the way I expected. So here is what I want you to hear. Stop waiting. Stop saying, I'll live when. Live now. Not recklessly, not perfectly. Honestly. Decide that you are enough today, with unfinished business, with flaws, with uncertainty. Because you are. You do not need to earn your worth. You do not need permission to rest. You do not need to prove your value by suffering. I am 80 years old. I have loved, I have lost, I have wasted time. And the greatest lesson I learned is that everything you are looking for has been quietly waiting inside you the entire time. You just have to stop running long enough to feel it. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who is exhausting themselves trying to become worthy. And tell me in the comments, what is your I'll be happy when? If you decided you were enough right now, go gently. Time is listening.